Tonight, calling for action.
If companies want to sell here, they have to build here.
Political finger pointing over the CAMI assembly plant.
We're going to fill that plant one way or another.
Plus, charges laid for a fatal crash. The suspect accused of stunt driving, killing a local doctor. And fearless in the face of cancer.
He's one of the most resilient kids I've ever met.
A local 11-year-old in the fight for his life.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin with the latest on the CAMI assembly plant shutdown. A local opposition MPP is calling on the provincial government to get more involved as workers wait for answers on their uncertain future. With more on Terence Kernahan's message, here's Rita Ismail.
It's been almost a month. From the province, it's been crickets.
At Queen's Park, pressure is building for clearer answers about the future of the CAMI plant in Ingersoll. London North Centre MPP Terence Kernahan says protections that once supported Canadian auto workers have been chipped away, leaving thousands vulnerable as governments negotiate with GM.
There used to be good protections in place like AutoPact. If companies want to sell here, then they have to build here. But unfortunately, we've seen governments erode those protections.
Kernahan says the province has offered no clear plan, even as uncertainty grows for CAMI's workforce.
Right now, the CAMI workers have been very strong. They're saying that nothing will go in and nothing will come out of that plant, and they want the province to stand up for them.
But the Ford government says it is at the table.
We're hearing right now from GM, they're still being a little tight-lipped. They're saying they want to do something. And if they don't want to do something, then, we're going to fill that plant one way or another. And we've been working with the federal government on building military vehicles there as well. So there's a couple options on the table.
In a statement to CTV News, Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade, Victor Fedeli, spokesperson, said, our legal team remains in close contact with GM and our labor partners to ensure that our agreements are respected and enforced. If these commitments are not honored, funding must be returned. Still, Kernahan says the lack of concrete information is putting enormous pressure on workers and their families.
It's really deeply distressing that we see 1,200 workers who are concerned about their families, about their future, about their ability to bring home a paycheck, put food on the table, and, pay all of their bills.
In an update to members Monday, Unifor Local 88 plant chair Mike Van Bokel said, we are trying to give our members some options going forward. We want to be clear that our main goal is to try and retain the plant and push GM to consider the short-term and long-term future of our plant. CAMI workers say they'll continue to hold the line until they get answers. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
London police say they've laid charges against a suspect they say caused a serious crash last month that killed a local doctor. The crash happened October 21st on Fanshawe Park Road. Dr. Agron Alija was pronounced dead at the scene. The 63-year-old has been described by friends as a compassionate and committed physician. Police say the other driver involved is 43-year-old Andrew Clark. He's being charged with dangerous driving causing death and stunt driving. Woodstock's former mayor Trevor Birch will hear his sentence in the new year for a sexual assault conviction. With more on his appearance this morning at the London courthouse, here's Nick Paparella.
The embattled former mayor of Woodstock, Trevor Birch, has had his fair share of legal woes over the past 5 years. He had 2 sexual assault trials at the London courthouse involving 2 separate women he had relationships with. One case ending with a mistrial, the other with a conviction. Then in February, the 50-year-old pled guilty to an impaired driving charge after he crashed his vehicle in Zora Township near Woodstock. After that, his lawyer Jim Batten was disbarred, so Birch was granted time to obtain new representation, eventually hiring Jordan Gold out of Toronto. During a brief court appearance via Zoom, Gold decided not to proceed with another mistrial application, instead setting a date for a sentencing hearing on the sexual assault convictions from the second trial. Justice Spencer Nicholson, who has referred to Birch as an obvious liar, will be hearing sentencing submissions on January 29th. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Officials at City Hall are developing a plan to revitalize downtown London, still emerging from the pandemic aftermath.
The downtown still faces challenges, but it is moving forward, it is improving, and it is becoming more welcoming.
Let's be ambitious and let's be bold. The business community stands with you.
Following extensive community consultation, the first phase includes quick start measures addressing public drug use, street-level homelessness, parking, and coordinating different organizations. A final report and recommendations will be completed by April. The mayor agreed with downtown stakeholders that recent downtown safety improvements are not reflected in public perception.
The perception on downtown from perhaps people who aren't here regularly to see the improvements is obviously lagging. And I wonder what the plan can do, aside from the activations and the other things, to try to align those better.
The provincial government faces pushback on its Bill 33 and the limited debate that came with it. The legislation would give the Education Ministry more control over Ontario's school boards, much like the takeover at the Thames Valley Board. Siobhan Morris reports.
This is the last round of debate on the controversial Bill 33.
They think they can ram it through under the cover of darkness with very little debate.
Something opposition parties say has been a pattern.
The concentration of power at Queen's Park and the erosion of local democratic voices.
The bill fast-tracked, skipping over committee hearings and protracted debate. Educators say it's a sign.
There's something wrong here. There's something nasty taking place.
The legislation forces boards to take on school resource programs if their local police service offers one, and make it easier for the Minister of Education to take the reins of boards, something Paul Callander has already done 5 times.
The ministry needs to have more authority to step into school boards that have gone off the rails. We have more than enough examples of that.
While Callander insists he doesn't have any immediate takeover plans when the bill passes, he is keeping an eye on the Near North District School Board.
I don't think the minister should have to wait till the board is completely falling apart before he or she steps in.
Educators insist Bill 33 isn't about helping kids.
It is about silencing parents and local communities who know our schools best.
Bill 33 is a distraction from the conditions that exist in our schools today.
Conditions that can be rough for teachers and students.
Chronic underfunding, a crisis in understaffing, overcrowded classrooms, and workers and students facing daily violence with too few supports.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
4 new public schools now have names. They were selected based on the Thames Valley School Board's new practice of community suggestions rather than naming them after significant people. In Lucan, Clover Public School is expected to open in February 2027, accommodating more than 500 students. In West London, Riverbend Public School is expected to open in September 2027 with a similar capacity. Next September, Jackson Meadows Public School will open in Southeast London, and Belmont Meadows will open in January 2027. The new names were selected through a ranked preference poll based on community submissions.
Good evening. It was beautiful this afternoon at times. We had lots of sunshine. Areas towards the southwest, though, dealing with a fair amount of cloud cover. Low pressure skirting by to the south, trying to push up some moisture. But the high winning out in through London, here on Perth, Grey and Bruce. Daytime highs reaching 3 upwards of 6 degrees towards Chatham, Kent. Now, there were a few very light spotty showers. When we take a look at the satellite radar, you can see a little bit of light rain pushing through Essex County in the Chatham area. Not widespread, but areas in through central Michigan picking up some snowfall. Now, high pressure will win out. We're not expecting that to move in for us tonight. Temperatures are headed below the freezing mark, so the moisture that's south of us will stay off to the south. By tomorrow morning, we'll be into mainly clear conditions and a beautiful start to your Wednesday. -3 by midnight with a light easterly wind. I'll have your local weather details. A gorgeous sunny day on the way for tomorrow, but we will be dodging some showers as we head toward the weekend. I'll have the timing coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Julie. Reaction today from the local broadcasting community after the death of Bill Brady. He's being remembered as a business leader, humanitarian, and a pioneer in the industry. With a look back on Brady's life, here's Sean Irvin.
In his lifetime, Bill Brady followed a path through all areas of the media business. His impact is summed up concisely by longtime CFPL radio morning man Peter Garland.
One word, huge. Everybody knew Bill Brady because he was everywhere.
Brady, a native of Windsor, stopped in a few places before making London his permanent home in the 60s. CKSL radio was a big part of his career, but he made a name for himself at CFPL. It was there the radio morning host began to moonlight on CFPL TV, now CTV London.
I was asked, would I be interested in doing a game show? They told me I'd make $52 a show. I thought, I wonder what kind of car I'll buy.
Bill connected with audiences in both radio and television. His voice and face became a source of comfort to the community. He was known to stay on the air during snowstorms and to wait to tape TV shows just so studio audiences had time to arrive.
And then they'd come from places like Dutton and Owen Sound, long way away.
Over time, Bill became a community champion. As a broadcaster, he raised funds through Bunny Bundle, a decades-long effort to support the Thames Valley Children's Center. Even after he stepped down from his daily radio show to become a broadcasting executive, Bill kept giving to multiple charity boards and events.
We've raised public awareness about diabetes and how important a cure needs to be found.
CTV's Nick Paparella calls Bill a community trailblazer and mentor.
And when you're out at an event, you see the connection he has with the audience. And you see how he was engaged with that fundraising event and with that organization. And that was Bill.
Longtime London morning personality Steve Garrison grew up wanting to be Bill Brady. Later, he heeded his advice to put London first.
Bill was always available to MC work. He'd be out to 11, 12, midnight, and then he'd be on the radio prepping his show around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Bill received the Order of Canada in 1991 and the Sovereign Medal for Volunteer Service in 2021. But ultimately, he will be remembered as a broadcaster in the golden age of London radio and TV.
Bill was, a giant in that category as far as personality was concerned.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Full-scale production is now underway at Windsor's Next Star Energy plant. Company officials say they've further ramped up lithium-ion phosphate battery cell production to maximum capacity. The milestone comes after 3 years of construction on the 4.2 million square foot facility. Officials also say they've started preparing for other battery production in energy storage systems meant for data centers and grid operators. Police west of Toronto say they've laid charges against 2 people after a months-long investigation into hundreds of thefts from mausoleums and cemeteries. With more on what was stolen, here's Raheem Ladani.
The Last Supper Mausoleum is one of at least 8 across the Greater Toronto area, which police say has been robbed in recent months.
I was outraged. You stole from the dead. What kind of person are you? Those are the words of a grieving family member, a victim of an absolutely heinous crime.
Halton police say this wasn't a crime of opportunity, but one that took meticulous planning, accusing 45-year-old John Rutch and 31-year-old Jordan Noble of going to cemeteries in broad daylight, often posing as grieving family members. Police allege they would then enter mausoleums and use a tool to break the niche compartments open, stealing jewelry, decorative urns, and even discarding human ashes.
At this point in time, we have reasonable grounds to lay 3 charges for indignity to a dead body.
Police believe the pair committed more than 300 thefts from cremation niches across Toronto, Oakville, Burlington, and the Niagara region. On November 7th, police executed a search warrant at a motel in Niagara Falls. They arrested the duo and found thousands of dollars worth of stolen property. These are nearly 600 of the stolen items which have been recovered by police. Everything from watches to necklaces to very personal keepsakes. And this is just a fraction of the recovered goods because the accused have admitted to melting down many other pieces. The Ontario Association of Cemetery and Funeral Professionals says together with our members, we will continue working collaboratively with law enforcement and our regulator to ensure Ontario's places of remembrance remain safe, secure, and dignified. Investigators believe there are likely other victims who aren't yet aware their niche has been robbed.
And we encourage anyone who may not have been to the site of a loved one recently to check in and ensure it's still secure.
Hundreds of recovered items are now being cataloged and returned to families. But investigators lament many stolen items have likely already been sold at pawn shops. Rahim Ladani, CTV News.
A local family are navigating another cancer diagnosis not long after losing a father to the disease. As Brent Lale reports, it's been an emotional and painful ordeal, but there's been no shortage of community support.
For Zachary La Liberty, music gives a brief reprieve from the pain.
It just makes me feel calm.
Over the past 4 years, Zachary and his mom have been through hell.
In 2022, we lost my husband, Zachary's dad, to esophageal cancer. He battled fiercely for 16 months. A year later, we're starting to find our way alone, and Zachary gets diagnosed with his brain tumor.
In grade 3, Zachary came home with a headache. A few months later, a doctor's appointment discovered pressure against the back of his eyes. And later, Jennifer's worst nightmare.
She asked Zachary to leave the room and said, "I'm certain Zachary has a brain tumor," and I couldn't believe it.
Over the past 2 years, he's been on oral chemotherapy twice a day, but it comes with cognitive fatigue. He's set to have another major surgery, which will include a catheter under his scalp, which can be poked to drain fluid.
They expect him to grow up and get married. However, things will not be easy for Zachary.
Temporarily make life easier, local musicians, the Risdales, held their 18th annual Risdales Roots Roundup. It's a cancer fundraiser which brought in $10,000.
We take some of our favorite musicians and we gather them all together for the afternoon of music and dancing and just, laughter. The cost of cancer is so much more than the physical cost. Just the parking, the coffees, a little treat, stopping at Toys R Us after a difficult medical appointment.
Zachary turns 11 years old today, and this past weekend he received the best birthday present he could ask for, a surprise entry in Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s baseball camp.
I got to do 18 stations, and I got to fist pump him, high five him, and I got to side hug him. He rolled it to me, and then I threw it to him, and then he caught it, and he nodded his head to me.
I didn't know that he would get to throw the ball with Vladdy, so when I saw that, my eyes welled up with joy.
For a moment, it was a chance to forget about all the pain and suffering these two have been through, and knowing there's more to come.
He's one of the most resilient kids I've ever met.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
When we come back, no Christmas election. The Liberals survive a crucial confidence vote passing the federal budget. Plus, pushing forward with publishing the Epstein files. The U.S. House of Representatives votes overwhelmingly in favor after the president changes his stance.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVLondon.ca, your home for news.
Tis the season for helping others, and the Business Cares Food Drive is how we can all help Londoners in need. On November 29th and 30th, over 40 participating grocery stores and hundreds of volunteers will be collecting food and donations. Over 40% of people who use the London Food Bank are children, so your support is needed now more than ever. Let's ensure everyone has a happy holiday.
Prime Minister Mark Carney's first federal budget has passed just barely. The Liberal minority government survived last night, avoiding a holiday election campaign. However, as Mike Lecouture reports, there are plenty of political challenges on the road ahead.
I declare the motion carried on division.
Another day, another confidence vote that the Liberals survive.
No, it was going to be one a day for a long time.
Behind the sarcasm is some truth about votes to come. Yesterday's budget vote only passed because a number of opposition MPs abstained.
We hope that opposition parties will continue to dialogue constructively with us about how we can potentially make those things better, but mostly so that we can make Parliament work.
But the Bloc Québécois is promising a rough ride.
So they will live the same anxiety that we have seen this morning, because at each step of this long process, including the committee, they will have to start all over again because they were not good partners for anybody.
Some opposition MPs said they reluctantly voted to pass the budget instead of plunging the country into a Christmas election.
Maybe 6-1, half dozen the other, but the country's got to change direction.
There will be other confidence votes as the budget works its way through the implementation process. And one NDP MP who abstained yesterday says his support isn't guaranteed.
Absolutely confident that I'll be holding this government to account, and we'll be fighting hard for everyday people.
And the Prime Minister says his budget is for those same people who need social programs like childcare, dental care, and pharmacare.
I salute the 170 members of the House who supported it. I'm glad it came through, and we're going to continue to work on implementing it.
The Prime Minister now heads to the UAE and the G20. And because of how close last night's vote was, it's unlikely the Liberals will test the confidence of the House until Mark Carney returns next week. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Officials with Canada Post say the Crown Corporation is effectively insolvent, with losses topping $1 billion this year. That's about $240 million more than the loss posted this time last year. Canada Post held its annual meeting today, where company officials said they expected to lose up to 30,000 employees to retirement or voluntary departure in the next decade. At the end of last year, Canada Post employed about 62,000 people. American President Donald Trump is endorsing a congressional call to release key Jeffrey Epstein files, a complete change of stance ahead of an important vote in Washington. With the latest, here's NBC's Gabe Gutierrez.
After months of delays and pushback from the White House, lawmakers in the House voted to compel the Justice Department to release all of its files on the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
The yeas are 427, the nays are 1.
The vote was nearly unanimous.
The momentum behind this did not come from politicians. It came from survivors and the public who demanded answers.
The vote comes after President Trump made a sharp about-face to back the bill once it became clear a majority of Republicans supported it. And he bristled today when the topic was brought up during his meeting with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince.
You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax to try and get me not to be able to talk about the $21 trillion that I talked about today.
But Trump supporters push the issue, and it's created a rift with one-time staunch MAGA backer Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
And he called me a traitor for standing with these women.
She joined Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie, one of the leaders of the bipartisan move to release the files.
We fought the president, the attorney general, the FBI director, the Speaker of the House, and the vice president to get this win.
And Epstein survivors in the shadow of the Capitol this morning, many of whom have been fighting for years to be heard and believed.
This is not an issue of a few corrupt Democrats or a few corrupt Republicans. This is a case of institutional betrayal.
So you have a choice to show millions of Americans whether you stand with us or with the powerful predators that are counting on your complicity.
Now that the bill has passed the House, it heads to the Senate. Days ago, it seemed unlikely to pass there, but now with that landslide vote in the House, that could change. The president has said he will sign the bill if it reaches his desk. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, the White House.
It's opening night for a Broadway show based on a Christmas classic. And for more on this traveling production, we're heading over to Canada Life Place. Now, I was told we'd be joined by Lauren Stallone, but it looks like the Grinch has not only stolen Christmas, but her microphone as well.
Yes, that's right. Breaking news. Christmas isn't coming this year. What?
Excuse me. I told you could hold it for like 2 minutes. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so sorry about that, Carlyle. Obviously, the Grinch is also trying to steal my job, so we're gonna have to. Yeah. Okay. Let's get right into it, Mr. Grinch. Great. We're here to talk about something very exciting: How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the musical, and it's about your favorite thing, yourself. So, what can you tell us about anyone coming out to see the performance?
Of course. Well, my musical is here in London now until November 23rd. At Canada Life Place, and it's sure to be a hoot and a holler. Get it? Who? You know, it's really fun for the whole family. Cindy Lou Who will be there, Max my dog, and of course me. And it follows my story, the book that you all know and love, and how I devise a plan to steal Christmas, take all of the presents, and, you know, maybe give it back if my heart grows 3 sizes. So come see the show and find out. You can get tickets at Ticketmaster.ca.
Amazing. So The Grinch was my favorite movie growing up, and this sounds super exciting for everyone in the community. I know you mentioned it, but are there tickets still available? Where can people go to get more information on this?
Of course. Well, you know, if you stop by the box office, if you're feeling social, you can get some tickets. Or, as I said, visit Ticketmaster.ca. You know, there are still plenty of tickets if you're looking. I believe it starts at $45 and goes up from there. So, you know, fun for everyone. And it is only a 90-minute show, so not too long for the little ones if you're nervous about it being too restless.
Amazing. Okay, well, it sounds like a great opportunity for people to come out and experience the holiday magic early in the season. Now, you know what? Since you think you can do this so well, here you go.
Of course. Get out of here. Bye, Santa. Okay, well, this is the Grinch. Have a terrible Christmas and come see my show. Grinch with CTV, signing off.
A very Merry Christmas to the Grinch as well. Thank you, and thank you to Lauren. And Juliette, on the desk with me now. You got the memo to match with the Grinch, your outfit, a festive green. Festive outside, at least it looks like it, thanks to the snow recently, too.
Yeah, the lake effect snow hanging on today out there. Temperatures in the low single digits. We did see some melt, but we still got lots of snowfall just outside of our studios. We do have localized snowfall, so some areas in the region, of course, you're seeing green grass. But here in London, after the lake effect snow that we received, definitely still some snow out there. +4 our high, -5 our low. Got quite cold last night. Tonight we're dipping down to about -4, and we will have a bit of a wind chill. If you felt like we were battling the cloud cover today, you were right. We have a low pressure area that's just off to the south, and it is generating some mixed precipitation south of the border. And you can see in through Michigan, we have some snowfall on the northern flank of this system. But what's happening is, as it comes into play with the dry air that's in place, a lot of the precipitation is evaporating before it hits the ground. So really not making much of an impact. There were a few sprinkles towards Windsor and Chatham earlier in the day, and reports of some mixed precipitation this morning. But other than that, the system not materializing northward. And the reason is because we are under the influence of this high pressure, and it has some nice dry air associated with it. So the low packing a punch in through the Tennessee and Kentucky area. It will continue to drift eastward and not really impacting our forecast overnight at all. Skies will be mainly cloudy, and that's what we've seen out of this system through the afternoon. So we had a lot of sunshine, and then some clouds would start to move in and almost look threatening at times. However, not really doing a whole lot. So as we head through the overnight, again, partly cloudy to mainly cloudy, and then by tomorrow morning, we'll be clearing out by sunrise. We'll drop down between -2 and -4. I mentioned a bit of a wind chill. So heading out the door, especially if you're an early morning walker, you'll feel that chill in the air. But by the afternoon, temperatures once again into the low single digits. As we look across Canada tonight, I just want to show you, we have more of a zonal flow across the Great Lakes. We do have that cold air bottled well up to the north in and around Hudson and James Bay, and then a warm pocket of air towards the south. So in through Georgia, Texas, and down towards Florida. But you can see how cool that air is able to get southward. So this creates some active weather stateside. For us, really, the forecast will focus on our next low pressure system coming in once again from the American Midwest. And when they come in that way, they bring the southerly winds, which will push the temperatures back up and bring us showers, not snowfall. So depending on how you're feeling about the early snowfall, I think you may perhaps enjoy the forecast with some rain and not that slushy rain either. So as we head into your Wednesday, mainly sunny through the day, beautiful conditions, 3 degrees, winds will be light and variable. As we head into Thursday, Friday, we'll hit 9 degrees. So that's that warm push I was talking about. The rain will hold off until Thursday night, so we'll get through the day dry. And then we have some showers in the forecast on Friday, although the probability on the lower end at just 40%. Saturday looks great, mainly sunny. If you haven't put the Christmas lights up, or if you still have some things to do outside around your yard, cleaning off your balcony, Saturday and Sunday looking great this weekend. Daytime highs from 7 to 8 degrees. Slight risk for showers on Monday, and back into a mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday. No major snow in the forecast in Midwestern Ontario. The next few days are nice and quiet with lots of sunshine. Could see some nighttime showers. Now, there is the potential for mixed precipitation, especially with some colder overnight lows, but not expecting a lot of measurable moisture. And we're not expecting that northwest flow off Lake Huron. So lake effect snow not in this forecast. Showers, 8 degrees, a mix of sun and clouds Saturday and Sunday. Daytime highs, though, averaging above normal for this time of year, 3 to +8. Daytime high normal about 6-7 degrees. So beautiful conditions across the region for your Wednesday. And Carlyle, not too bad on Thursday as well. The rain should hold off until after sunset.
All right, Julie, thanks very much. Still ahead, Canada's most stolen cars, the latest theft data, and tips to ensure your vehicle stays in your driveway.
I'm Scott Miller. Please have a listen to the current episode of my podcast, where I'm joined by Lori Carter, founder of Cemetery Enthusiasts of Huron County.
Backroads with Scott Miller. Available at iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
One of the biggest nights in country music is happening tomorrow, so be listening to us to be set up for it.
Yeah, Lainey Wilson is going to be hosting this year's CMA Awards live from the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. We got all the details for you tomorrow morning.
London airport officials say direct flights to Winnipeg are coming back next year. They say WestJet will operate 3 flights to the Manitoba capital, departing on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. They won't be permanent routes, though, only taking off into the middle of September. New stats show car thefts are down this year in Canada. However, that's the overall trend. As Pat Foran reports, thieves are increasingly targeting specific models, now at much higher rates.
No one wants to have their vehicle stolen. The headaches with replacing it, the expense, dealing with police and insurance is a major hassle.
I went out of the house and the car that is normally there was gone.
Rebecca Cuthbertson of Stratford was visiting family in Toronto when her car was stolen last night. It was found in a school parking lot this morning, likely waiting there to be scooped up by thieves.
It does feel like a violation. Just that she's got her back window smashed, and I'm not allowed to touch the car, go into it. It's been taken for fingerprinting.
Cuthbertson's 2019 Honda Civic is one of the most stolen cars in Canada. Topping the list is the Toyota RAV4, a favorite for thieves worldwide.
It's very serviceable globally. It's a good utility vehicle, meaning it can be used in a variety of terrains and jurisdictions.
The RAV4 was the most stolen, with more than 2,000 being taken across the country. It's followed by the Dodge Ram 1500 series, the Honda CR-V, the Ford F-150 series, and the Honda Civic. Even though the auto insurance industry lost $1 billion to auto theft last year, investigators say at least when it comes to stealing cars, the trend is going down and not up. There was an overall decrease in auto theft across Canada of 19%, but in the first half of this year, auto thefts in Ontario were down by almost 26%.
we're not out of the woods yet, but definitely continuing doing what we're doing and combating this vehicle crime to make Canadians safe.
As for Cuthbertson, she refers to her car as Grace and can't wait to get her back.
I'm glad they found her. It's going to be a few days before I can have access to her again. I am very happy she's been found.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Another day of losses on markets both sides of the border. In Toronto, the TSX lost 39 points. In New York, the Dow sunk close to 500. The Nasdaq fell 275. The Canadian dollar rose almost a fifth of a cent today. On commodities, gold fell $8 an ounce and oil gained 81 cents a barrel. Still ahead, tapping her way across the Atlantic, the local dancer competing at the World Tap Championships.
Dallas Smith is bringing a special one-night-only unplugged show to Centennial Hall on November 29. And Pure Country 93 and CTV London have your chance to win. Enter online at ctvlondon.ca for your chance to score a pair of VIP tickets.
Welcome back. A new report warns Canada's immigration policies are not helping the country retain the talent required to bolster the economy.
The very people who can help Canada build the economy and infrastructure and housing of the future all leave at above average rates.
The Institute for Canadian Citizenship's Leaky Bucket 2025 report suggests highly skilled and educated immigrants are most likely to leave Canada within 5 years of arriving here. Immigrants with doctorate degrees are more than twice as likely to leave Canada compared with people with a bachelor's degree. That number jumps to 3 times when immigrants face job prospects that don't provide income growth. The Prime Minister is traveling to the United Arab Emirates tonight. Mark Carney is expected to hold bilateral meetings aimed at expanding economic partnerships between the two countries. Following that trip, Carney will travel to South Africa for the G20 Leaders Summit. He's expected to focus on deepening Canada's partnerships on energy, trade, and defense. The King and Queen of Sweden are in Canada for a 3-day state visit. The royals were officially welcomed at Rideau Hall this morning. King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia will visit Ottawa and Montreal. This is the first royal Swedish visit to Canada since 2006. Concern in Canadian health circles about our country's ability to take advantage of new medications for Alzheimer's disease. With more on what's changing and the current issues in the system, here's Pauline Chan.
Last month, Health Canada gave approval for the first disease-modifying drug for Alzheimer's, lecanemab.
There's another in for approval, and so for the first time ever in Canada, we have some potential of disease-modifying therapies for people facing early Alzheimer's disease.
But provincial funding for the drug has yet to be settled, and there's another key roadblock to patients getting it. It's only useful for those in early stages of Alzheimer's, and you need a formal diagnosis.
Getting a diagnosis early in the disease progression is actually very challenging right now. Most people show up at primary care when the disease has progressed actually quite significantly. It's when it becomes a problem in people's daily life.
He's just tired. He works a lot.
When Lee Laforet's husband was seeking a diagnosis for his forgetfulness and confusion in 2016, they faced a lot of resistance.
They call it the longest goodbye for a reason. Because every day when you wake up, you don't know what you're going to get. We got the testing done, but we didn't know the results for 6 months because we couldn't get to see a neurologist.
Dr. Jaspreet Bangu says not only is there a shortage of knowledgeable family physicians, but new diagnostic methods on the horizon will mean an even greater need for specialists in the near future.
To detect amyloid via a blood test. It's a very exciting field that we're hoping will start to blossom and provide better access for patients in the next 5 to 10 years.
Right now, PET scans are the gold standard for diagnosis.
It's quite expensive, and there's not very many PET scanners. We only have about 40 in all of Canada. What's going to be important, though, is if patients don't have a way to access a provider, if we don't have enough providers who understand the symptoms and understand when to use the test, And then if we don't have enough specialists on the other end to provide the extra testing necessary, then we're going to have the bottlenecks we see now.
Dr. Bangu says right now, from testing to treatment can take 1.5 to 3 years, and that is precious time for families dealing with dementia. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Tomorrow on CTV News, a progress report on London's opioid epidemic. The latest update from local health officials and London police. That's tomorrow on CTV News at 6.
Welcome back to KP's Rescue 975, brought to you by London's Airport Kia. This week, we are meeting Leo. He's arriving in style in a 2026 K4. Leo is an adorable 8-month-old Labrador Retriever poodle mix with a big heart and an even bigger energy. This happy, snuggly boy loves everyone he meets. He's playful, friendly, and always ready for an adventure. Leo loves being outdoors, whether it's going for walks, playing fetch, or exploring the yard. He loves to sleep in bed with his family and doesn't move all night. Leo's affectionate nature and happy demeanor make him the perfect companion for a fun-loving home, ready to match his energy and enthusiasm. If you're interested in being Leo's forever home, visit animalert.ca. An icy wind chill overnight, feeling close to a -8. Thank you to Sean Brown for this photo taken Monday on the Thames. Sunshine in the forecast Wednesday, the next opportunity for rain moving in Thursday night, and we could see a few showers, but milder temperatures as we wrap up the week.
Foreign-trained doctors and opposition MPPs are speaking out against a new policy which they say will worsen health care in Ontario.
It will delay and reduce the number of family doctors entering our system at a time when every community is pleading for help.
Last month, the provincial government announced international medical graduates must complete at least 2 years of Ontario high school or they won't be considered eligible for primary residency placement. Instead, move to a second round, which includes applicants from Canada and overseas. Israeli officials say one of their soldiers was killed in the West Bank in what's being called a car ramming and stabbing attack. Military leaders say 2 attackers were killed by Israeli soldiers and explosives were found in the attacking vehicle. There was no immediate claim of responsibility just a day after the UN Security Council backed President Donald Trump's plan to secure and govern Gaza, a plan Hamas have rejected. A southwestern Ontario animal sanctuary is putting its most popular residents in the spotlight. Staff are producing educational videos about the best ways to care for donkeys. With more, here's Ashley Bacon.
Taking care of donkeys just got a little easier.
It's an education resource for both new donkey stewards as well as experienced donkey owners to use as a guideline to help keep them updated.
We inform and encourage the responsible stewardship of all animals.
The Donkey Sanctuary of Canada has released a new online virtual tool to help inform the community about the best care practices.
As we continue to learn more about how to properly care for them, we want to share it with the community of donkey owners so they can continue to support them as their donkeys age.
Donkeys were originally a desert animal, and life in the north means adjusting to the climate. The first video takes a deep look at donkey care essentials.
Donkey hooves are naturally very porous to absorb moisture from dry desert ground.
It's a great introduction video to learning about donkey housing, how to set up your farm, what kind of vet care they require, as well as farrier and any kind of health resources.
The program is modeled off of the Donkey Sanctuary UK. Each video will have expert advice depending on the content.
We always rely on them for what's the latest welfare practice. And with our own animal care team, what we have seen worked for our lovely Canadian climate as we start to approach winter.
The free resource getting the thumbs up from the Ontario Veterinary College.
It's great for the public to have additional educational resources that are from a good source, especially for animals that maybe the public isn't as familiar with in terms of their care and what their daily needs look like.
The second video is expected to launch next month with a focus on nutrition, and in the new year, more videos to come. Ashley Bacon, CTV News, Puss Lynch.
Welcome back. Finally tonight, an 11-year-old from St. Mary's tapping her way onto a global stage. The young dancer has just returned home from the World Tap Championship in Europe. As Lauren Stallone reports, she hopes it's just the start of a promising career.
Fresh off representing Team Canada in Prague at the World Tap Dance Championship, St. Mary's Pierce McNeil is feeling grateful and hoping to do it all over again next year.
It was a great feeling. I really liked it.
She says it was a great experience competing on one of the world's biggest stages against nearly 2,000 other dancers.
There's 21 countries and from all over the world.
McNeil says she first started dance class at the age of 2. Something she owes to her mother, Stacy.
We first started with a Mom and Me class. From a very young age, right when she could walk, she loved music.
Stacy says it was a dream come true to watch her daughter represent Team Canada.
Seeing her confidence grow, seeing her stage performance really elevate to the next level. We just can't wait to see her on the stage this year at competitions.
McNeil competed in 4 different events, including a production number, formation, trio, and small group number, with her trio placing 5th in the competition. She says the championship has only made her love of tap grow stronger. She even agreed to teach me a couple of steps. And while I think I'll stick to reporting, McNeil's journey is just beginning.
I have a feeling this is probably not a one-time thing for her.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
And that's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.